Analysis of the maintenance program efficiency, looking at the actual man hours versus the MPD man hours. In the MPD, the maintenance planning document, it tells you for each task what is the optimum time to accomplish that task. Now, it's just an average. For example, to do a task, I've got to remove a panel. I try to remove this panel and I can't get a screw out. And the screw head is maybe corroded or I can't get it out. I've now got to drill into the screw, I've got to use an easy out, and I've got to remove this screw. By the time I've done it, it's taken me an hour to get one screw out. When you look in the MPD, it says this is a 1 hour task. That's the perfect world. And it's not a task by task basis, it's on average. How many times do you do this task in a year, and how long does it take you? If every time we try to remove this panel we've got to drill a screw out, it's telling you something about the screws. It's telling you something about how we're looking after the screws and the panels. Because there is a compound you can put on the screws. When you install that panel, you can put a compound on the screw that will inhibit the corrosion, and means the next time you try and take that screw out, it will come out very easy. So there's an example of paying attention to looking after the product and looking after how we deal with it. But when we average, we've done this task 20 times in a year. How long does it take us to do this task? And we add the hours up and then divide by 20, and that tells us how long it takes to do this task. And that, across all the tasks, gives us a factor which is our organisational factor. And we should know, because it's a measurement of the health of our organisation. So, for every task in the MPD, we will have an average of how long it takes us. And so, looking at that average, it could vary between 2 times, which is okay, 2 is good, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 is okay, but it's opportunity for improvement. I was auditing one airline and they're 4.5. This airline is 4.5 hours for every 1 hour of the MPD. And they're quite happy. They don't realise that they are, in actual fact, the least efficient company I've ever visited. This is the reality, mate. The least efficient company. Guys, you are spending twice as long as everybody else to do the maintenance. And this is a problem. It's a problem if you are trying to drive efficiencies. If you're trying to do maintenance for other people, so how much can you do the maintenance check for? And you calculate based on your ability. So, well, it's 100 hours, so I'm going to charge you for 450 hours. Okay, we'll let you know. But of course it won't happen anytime soon. So, again, this measure of efficiency, it's important as well that we get the figure as low as we possibly can, consistent, of course, with the highest quality of check that we can achieve. The MPD figures do not include preparatory work such as aircraft cleaning, positioning, work stands, procuring consumable materials, connecting ground power, correction of defects found during the task accomplishment, and so on and so on and so on. They are a basic figure assuming the perfect world. So round about 2 times the MPD is quite a reasonable figure to use. Routine and non-routine man hours. Through an effective maintenance program management, we can improve modification maintenance programs, adjusting the ratio of non-routine hours can be reduced. Again, understanding, for example, lost time. Lost time is time you're not able to spend actually working on the aircraft. This can be a benefit. And from the operator point of view, because remember we are maintenance planners, not production planners. So we're not doing the maintenance, we're paying for the maintenance. So whether it's acceptable or not, we've got to decide. How much are you going to charge us for the maintenance? If it's a set price, then it's okay. But the set price seldom includes all the defects. The set price typically includes all the routine activity that's identified within a C-check package. Here is your price. And then you said, okay, what will be the final price? Well, the final price will be dependent on how many man-hours are required for the rectification. And so the basic price is 10,000 euros, the rectification price is 22,000 euros, so your check is 32,000 euros. So that's where we're losing the money, within the 22,000 euros example. And of course, these numbers are small, they could be times 10. And this is what we've got to do, how we've got to manage to optimize it. And we've got to take this data and we've got to understand. We've got to know what our expectations are, and we've got to drive down the costs. If we can drive down the costs, we manage our cash flow, we can maintain profitability. Again, we depend on the commercial side of the business to do their part. DMC, direct maintenance cost, can be reported through DMC toolset, which allows the airline to benchmark with their own historical data or compare with industry best practice. And a good understanding of how effective the organisation is to look at how they're measuring their costs, how they're looking at what they do, their own KPIs. And of course, it's a very different story when it's a business jet, for example. A private business jet. You are paying a lot of money for the privilege and the pleasure of having an aeroplane available when you need it. One step down from that is shared ownership, where you own a percentage of a business jet. A step down from that is where you go to a company that operates a fleet of business jets, and they make them available as and when required. For example, ExecuJet. They have a fleet of business jets, and you can rent the business jet by the flying hour. The DMC report captures line maintenance, heavy maintenance, component and engine maintenance costs. Using the DMC report, cost drivers can be identified which allow the airline to collaborate with the OEMs and vendors to implement cost reduction initiatives. Again, it's a continuous process, depends on the size, it's a scalable process. The bigger you are, the more advantage there is in you doing certain things.